Let's do a part 3 of how I became bitter and so emo and my grudge against the fighting game community and whatever. I'll try to tell a couple of some of the only good stories that I have from video games that I remember, as well as I wrote down some like little things about other bad stories about how shady the community is. So whatever, this is kind of fun, right? For some people, I guess, and it keeps my channel active. So let's talk about some of the only good memories first that I have from video games that happened. So I'll talk about a good memory I have from this Montreal trip that I had. So the backstory to this tournament was at the time in Canada there was the two big tournaments in Canada was they had this big yearly Toronto tournament and they had a big yearly Montreal tournament. And I should also say at the time I don't know how it is nowadays. I'm just so out of the scene. But at the time, Montreal was considered better than Toronto, and the two best players were there, who were generally considered like Prez and JFL, right? I don't know how things are nowadays, but years and years ago, right, when I was a kid. Anyway, so I had gone to two of the big, Toronto tournaments, right, and I got fifth in both of those. And I guess for any story that I could think of, those were basically. I remember I think I lost first round each of those because you drove all the way there. You don't get to play casual, and I remember I lost first round I think for each of those, and I basically fought my way back to fifth place, which isn't that amazing, but whatever. I guess they were big tournaments. But so the first one, do I have any interesting story to say about that? Was that I beat the first one. I ended up beating like all the guys I think that were mostly considered yeah, I think I beat like all the guys that were considered like the top of Toronto at the time, and even I guess if people remember, I ended up beating JS Master, who went on to become pretty famous around that time actually for Street Fighter kind of stuff, CBS. And the match I remember people remembered because people were asking me how to do the Kim Infinite during the match while I beat him. And people were like, "What the fuck, Jay? How did he fucking beat this guy while he was having a count?" Because we were like, "Clint, how do you do this infinite?" And I was like, "Down, down, roundhouse, full roundhouse, down, down, little punch, let go, roundhouse, full roundhouse." It was just like I was telling people, they're like, and like we were like, "Dude, what the fuck? Did he just like win his fucking match?" Well, I'll fucking explain how to do this anyway. So I ended up getting fifth in that tournament. And what else was there? Any other funny story for that tournament that I remember? It was kind of like in a not shady area of town, the arcade. And I remember at one point, I had like long blonde ponytail hair, and I guess I was looking kind of pretty back then. I was kind of a pretty boy, I guess. And I remember some guy with a beer bottle came and he was like holding it over my head while rubbing my shoulders, dude. Like I think he was like trying to rape me. He was drunk, and I remember I was like motioning over for like Raw. I was like, dude, Raw, come fucking save me. Like, who the fuck is this dude, right? And Raw was like, I want to play games with Clayton. And he just sat down on the machine and this like drunk dude with his like beer bottle was about to smash over my head. He walked away. Anyway, so I got fifth in that and I lost to a Montreal guy. And I remember the Montreal guys, they really didn't like me, right? Like they were always calling me like a scrub and they thought I fucking sucked. And they were even, and I told this story at the last video of how like I was beating all these players as being the Japanese and I was being Mike Watson and all these other top guys. And I remember Tenjin was a Montreal guy and he was one of the guys that was actually there on Shoryuken at that time. I was saying like, oh, Final Showdown, he's a scrub. He's always talking shit about people that he beats, blah blah blah. So this dude, he didn't fucking like me for whatever reason anyway, right? Then there was the second tournament that I went to in Toronto. It was a big one. I got fifth in that. Again, I think I lost first round again. And then I had to fight my way back up. And again, I think I pretty much was beating everybody. And then I lost, I think, like a Montreal guy again, right? And I remember the crazy thing about that tournament was my brother got robbed during the match. And like they're like, Clayton, you need to stop, or like, you need to come right after this match. The cops are here. Your brother just got robbed. Like while I'm playing the match, I'm like, dude, what the fuck, dude? And, there's a thing you think about when you're older. It's like, what a terrible brother I am. Like I'm the sick brother. I'm the older brother, and then my brother got fucking robbed during a tournament. The cops are there, and it was just like terrible, right? So anyway, moving on. So then there's this Montreal tournament, right? And again, the Montreal guys, I went there, and this was a big tournament. All these good guys were there, right? And the Montreal Tournament was kind of funny because, again, a lot of people talking shit about me all the time. And God, the trip was insane. It was like fucking 12 hours there or something like that, dude. Like, I think it was like, yeah, like 12-hour drive there. We didn't get to sleep or anything like that. We got there. We didn't get to play any casuals. And I think, again, I think I lost the very first match I played, right? And I remember Video was pissed too because the tournament ended up being pretty big and it got delayed a little bit. So the first few matches were, they weren't 2 out of 3. It was just one match, right? And so we both lost. And I think he was fucking pissed because he was like, dude, we just drove 12 hours for this bullshit. And it was only like one round the first match. So I remember he was pissed, justifiably so. I wasn't too happy either, but whatever. Anyway, the point is, though, I ended up getting third, and I beat JFL, and I guess anticlimactic, right? I didn't actually win the tournament, but I beat JFL, who, again, at the time, the best in Canada, period, were considered JFL and Press, right? And I'd been beating the top Toronto guys, and then I went to Montreal, and I beat JFL, and the arcade went fucking insane. Like, it's the only experience I have like this actually in a tournament where everyone was talking shit about me, and then I beat him, and literally a crowd formed around me, and they did like a cliche, they picked me up, and I remember even like the Tangent guy who used to go on Shuriken and make up shit about me and talk shit. He was like, Final Showdown. He's like, no scrub could ever beat JFL in a tournament. He's like, I will never call you a scrub again. And all these guys were like, dude, Final Showdown, we will never say anything about you ever again. You just beat like the best guy there is in Canada right now. It's like, we will never say anything about you ever again. You're fucking awesome. And the crowd, they lifted me up and everything like that. And then, of course, I think I lost to Prez after that, who was, again, he was considered, I think, second best at the time. So it's pretty anticlimactic, right? So I didn't win, but that's kind of a cool memory, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Anticlimactic, but that's kind of a fun memory because I was pretty surprised they did that too, especially because they're such fucking assholes to me before. What's another kind of cool memory? I guess I'll say the first time I kind of really hung out with a lot of the Team Serious guys was actually a really pretty cool, fond memory. And again, a lot of people think that I like talk shit about Kenji per se, and it's like I don't have like a ill will against him or something like that. I mean, he's one of the most important people I ever met in my life during that time. He just can be two-faced, right? I mean, that's fucking facts. Call a spade, dude. Like, he would tell me things, and then we'd be around these people, and he would say something else to them. Like, that's two-faced. What is it, right? But still an important person to me that I met during that time. He's a cool dude as far as I'm concerned. He's a good player. But anyway, so it was a really cool memory because there was just such a fucking good vibe. And maybe it was because I was becoming really popular at the time. I was winning tournaments, whatever. And so, people want to be your friend when that kind of stuff is happening. But everyone was just so cool. It was a really good vibe. I remember I still have fond memories of Marcel. We went to QSO and he took the atomic wings and he said he was going to brush his teeth with the hottest wings there were. And he did. And it was a fun memory, right? And there's a lot of fun stories from that. I remember it actually ended up being, we went to this big tournament, right? And back in the day, this was not a common thing, right? It was a big, huge anime tournament, which is not common back then. A lot of anime tournaments are your cliche scrub fest, right? Like I know like things like Youmacon nowadays, they're streamed and it's actually fucking big and like good people go. But back then this was not common. But for this tournament, there was like over 100 people or something like this just by fucking chance. It was fucking huge and a lot of good people actually showed up and I just fucking demolished the tournament. Like I don't think I lost a single round. So I mean, I guess that's kind of cool when you win, right? And it was just a good like. I had a lot of fun memories from that tournament. A lot of people were really cool, actually. And of course, things wouldn't stay that way. But I had a pretty fond memory of that. It was a good time. I think I stayed for about a week with Kenji, and we went to Chicago for a few days, and it was all around a good time. So I have fond memories of that. I met a lot of people in a very short time. A lot of people I'm not friends with anymore, but a lot of those people ended up being shady, of course. Some of those people ended up being the people that actually were stealing from Thomas and everything. Someone that Thomas was helping out, and I found out they were stealing from them. So a lot of times you meet people and you think they're fucking cool, dude, and then you find out they're not, and then people try to make you look like the bad guy when you're helping out people, and you find out that they are actually legitimately even stealing from people, and all's well that doesn't end well. I mean, not a good ending to that story, but at the time, that was a pretty good memory. Like I said, it was a pretty big tournament I won. Actually, pretty weird. It was actually the last tournament I ever entered before my health really started taking over, because that summer is when, I went on disability shortly after that, as things started getting worse very, very quickly. So yeah, because I remember I won a tournament after that, big tournament after that. I mean, I was pretty sick, and then another big tournament after that. I was really fucking sick. I won, and I went on disability actually right after that. But so those are a couple of sort of fond memories I have of that time. Out 1 second. Okay, so let's get to some shady. Did I write this down correctly? Wait, okay, yeah. Let's get to like some more shady stuff about the community that I found out, as years went by, or actually found out really quickly. So one shady thing about people that they don't realize about back in the day, and I don't know if you can do it anymore. I don't know how it works, but a lot of times what happened is, like, back on forums back in the day when you would post, moderators could actually edit someone else's post to make it seem like they're saying things that they weren't saying. And that happened to me a lot. And of course, and I'm gonna say this, because I know a lot of people want me to be a bad guy, and I can say this I can say this, I can say this with like a smile on my face. I can say this very bluntly. I'm a very blunt person. All these people that fucked with me and made up lies about me back in the day, and I know this is gonna make all my haters happy, but I'm just a blunt person. If karma exists, I've said this many times before. I hope that they fucking have all the health problems I get. I hope they have life or death conversations in the hospital. I hope they have to force themselves to walk again. And I hope while they're doing all this bullshit, I hope people talk shit about them. And if they're ever in the hospital thinking they might die, tell me where they are, and I'll send them a letter and say they're a piece of shit. And I don't even know, would that even be karma? Because they were making stuff up about me, and telling them that they're a piece of shit isn't making stuff up about them while they're in the hospital like they did me, right? So all these stories that I tell now, you know what I mean? My haters want to think I'm a terrible person and I'm an asshole, and sure, I'm an asshole, but I'm not an asshole that is, I didn't start the fight, right? But anyway, so moving on about these kind of people. So a lot of moderators, a lot of people didn't like me, right? So people with power, right? And even I know I talked about the Shinakuma thing that I found, even the Shinakuma thing, I posted on things like game combos. I tried to help people, like, this is possible, this is how you do this, right? And moderators would delete my post saying this isn't possible, and they would post stupid things. They're like, I don't remember, they'd post ridiculous things, like they would like edit your post like, I like gay butt sex, you know what I mean? Like stupid shit like this, like, I don't know if you can do this on forums anymore. I don't know how it works, but back in the day, I used to be able to do that, right? And so people, they would like edit my post and delete it. And God, I remember even like the Japanese finally started doing some of this stuff. And I'm like, remember when I would post this, and I went back and I would post, this post that I posted, and the moderators would go back and delete my post. Not a fucking joke, dude. Like, this shit fucking happens back then, right? I remember one of the guys was fucking Kentaro. Like I said, he was like a moderator at Game Comps. Don't know where the fuck this guy is. Maybe he's dead. Good riddance, right? Who knows? Another site that didn't really like me a lot was, say, like Dustloop, right? Which came after that, but Dustloop, oh my god, the people that ran Dustloop, what fucking losers, right? Like, and again, dude, if anyone knows if these dudes ever, if they get fucking cancer, whatever the fuck happens to them, tell me so I can send them a letter while they're in the hospital and tell them that I hope they fucking die and that they're a piece of shit. I just said it. It's on tape. I'm an asshole. But you know what? They fucking were talking shit about me. They were doing the same thing while I was in the hospital, sick as shit, right? So who the fuck cares, right? Like these dudes, they would like edit my post, delete my post, you know, make me sound like I'm saying things I'm not. You know what I mean? God, I remember, and some of the guys they would even do. I don't remember. I remember there's one specific guy. I don't remember. Maybe he had like a penguin in his avatar, or his name was Penguin, or it was like an Arctic thing, I think. And this guy, he used to ask me a lot of questions, and so I would help him out. I would post on the forums how to do stuff. Well, the moderators there, this fucking Coogie fuck and Spirit fuck, wherever the fuck they were, you know, fuck these guys. Like I said, if they ever, you know, something terrible happens to them, let me send a letter to even their family, maybe tell them what a piece of shit they are, right? These guys, they would fucking they started deleting this guy's posts whenever he would post to me asking me questions because they didn't like want me to be like popular. They didn't want me to be seem like I was helping people. Like people think this is a joke. Moderators there would do that, dude. I've even been deleted from tournament results because they didn't want to make it seem like I was winning tournaments. That's how fucking shady these fuckers are, dude. And yeah, I remember, and I know it happened too because you know sometimes you know you see you're about to go do something, right? And like, oh, I'm gonna respond to this guy later, right? And I would see his post would get deleted, right, by like a moderator. That's how fucking shady these guys are, dude. People don't understand. Like, again, I don't know if you can do this kind of stuff nowadays because I don't know how forums work, but back when I was a kid, you could do this crap, right? So forum boards used to be real fucking shady with this kind of bullshit, right? Like people didn't want to admit that I was helping them, and moderators would actually delete my stuff when I was helping people, and then later try to claim that stuff. You know, it's just like, oh my god, what fucking people wonder why I don't like the video game community, dude. What are some other real shady things that have happened in tournaments before? There's this one tournament I went to in Philadelphia. We were supposed to have a hotel room for us. We got there and God, that was like another 10-hour drive or some bullshit. I mean, even longer than that because I think it was about a 3-hour drive for me to meet up with everybody. And then maybe it was like a 10-hour drive there. It was fucking absolutely awful. We get there. They didn't have our hotel room like they said. So we didn't have a place to sleep. Couldn't lay down anywhere. And God, there's a stupid guy. I feel like I don't even want to say these fuckers' names because even saying their name is just so fucking disgusting to me. Initials FM, right? This guy was a huge fucking loser, dude. I got to the tournament and I'm like, God, I haven't slept. We don't have a hotel room. And I was like, oh, I guess let me try to play a couple of matches before this fucking tournament happens. This dude who went on to become like a top player, people think he is. And another funny thing about this guy is I remember there was an article about him on Shoryuken.com about his fucking hands hurting. Fuckers like this used to talk shit about me when I had surgery on my hands. I could barely even use my hands for a time, dude. And they had an article like his fucking hands hurt. Clayton just did radiation. Clayton's on disability. Clayton just had surgery. Well, I was about that surgery on my hands. You know what I mean? And these fuckers were talking shit about me, and then they had a fucking article about this guy that his fucking hands hurt. What a fucking baby, dude. Oh my god. What fucking losers, dude. Anyway, so before the tournament, I was like, oh god, okay, let me try to play this. Let me try to play a couple matches. This dude, every time I turned on the PS2 to play, tried to play like a few matches, or just go to train for a few seconds, he went up to the machine, he was like, boop. He didn't boop it, he just turned it off. He's like, no. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And he did it like 2 or 3 times, dude. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, only I get to practice. And I was so fucking tired. Like, if someone did that to me now, like, I haven't been in many fights, but I put some people in some headlocks and I threw a guy over a fucking table before. Actually, I can tell you they stopped picking on me real quick, right? But that's not even making me sound tough because I'm not a tough guy, right? You know what I mean? Actually, funny. It's funny. Like people talk about being a tough guy. Like I live where you can carry a gun, so no one needs to be a tough guy if I'm carrying a gun in the first place. But wasn't losing my train of thought. Like nowadays, you know what I mean? If that would have happened now and I wasn't so fucking tired, yeah, we probably would have gotten to something. It's like that kid was about to get his ass beat. But anyway, that like what a fucking punk, right? For doing this, like only I get to practice. So I didn't even get to play for the tournament. I'm like laying down. They fucking didn't have our hotel. They gave it away because the fucking who knows what the fucking organizer is actually doing, right? You're supposed to have like a hotel room for all of us, you know. Yeah, but anyway, so I ended up versing this guy. And again, this guy's considered a top player, which is just such a fucking joke to me. So we ended up versing in Capcom Fighting Jam, right? And he played like, Karen Jetta, like what a cliche, like just pick the best characters in the game, right? And all I know is so we went before the tournament, right? And again, these are things like, can you imagine if this happened, if things were actually streamed? Like this stuff would have never happened in a day and age when things are streamed, right? So we set our buttons before the match. I beat him 2 rounds in a row, or two rounds in a row. Yeah, I beat him the first match, right? He's like, oh, my controller didn't work. My buttons were wrong. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And like organizers, they don't care. I'm like, dude, what? He's like, it doesn't count. Beat him another 2 rounds in a row. Oh, my buttons were wrong again. And I'm like looking around, dude. Like I haven't fucking slept like in a day. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, will someone fucking call this kid out and like stop him? But no, no one cares, right? Next, so then I beat him another, 4 rounds in a row, right? And he finally agrees to leave it. And he's like, yeah, my buttons were still wrong. And he gave me a smirk, like, And I was like, this stupid fucker, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're lucky that I'm like a fucking nice guy and I've like slept like a day, right? But again, shit like that would happen in tournaments. And like I said, I can't believe, like I said, if this guy, you know what, if this guy's hands hurt, if someone runs over this guy someday, or like I said, I have so much, I wouldn't do it myself because, you know what I mean? That's not going to benefit me, obviously. But if I heard some bad things happen to all these people again, uh, here's the video proof. If these dudes are ever in the hospital and they're dying, I'll send them a letter and tell them good riddance. I'll do that right now. Quote me. So yeah, pieces of shit like that, right? And God, I remember there was other bullshit that happened during that tournament. Like one guy was trying to talk shit to me the whole time, and God, dude, I was just like, what is this fucking community sucks. Like oh God, dude, fucking video games. Like I said, I don't have many good memories of it. What's another couple other memories, shady memories? There was this one tournament, one of the last tournaments I ever entered. They had a Hyper Alpha in it, right? And the funny thing is, oh God, I'm just gonna call him Buffalo Saber. Let's call him that name, right? I think it was Buffalo Saber, maybe Jerron or Sanchez. I don't remember who the fuck was running, but I remember Buffalo Saber was one of the guys. That was his real name, but I don't even want to say these guys' real fucking names because they're just so fucking pathetic for this shit. Do you know what I mean? But so they were running a Hyper Alpha tournament, and I had like never heard of this game, right? And my friend like Scott, I think, brought it over like a week or two before the tournament, and I played it. And it's kind of like a clusterfuck, like a weird game. I'm like, oh, this game's kind of fun. Like, I'll play it. And I heard it was going to be at the tournament. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to play this. This game looks kind of neat. It's different, right? So anyway, I get to the tournament, dude, and I fucking destroy it. It's a side tournament at Evo, right? I'm fucking destroying it, dude, right? And I remember at one time, like, I'm like, I was like, when's my next match? Because let me win this thing and get it over with, because this is for fucking free, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even fucking have the game. And at the time, it's even funny, because at that time, it was before, I think I was having my surgery, like, the next month, maybe. It depends if it's in July or August, I don't remember, but, and I remember even Jason APOC was like, Clayton, what are you doing playing on a controller? And I was like, dude, I've gotten to the point I can't even like really hold an arcade stick anymore, dude. But you know what I mean? So it's not like people think I practice video games. So ridiculous. But losing my train of thought. I remember I was like, yeah, when's my next match? Like, let me get this thing over with. And at one point, I was like standing right next to the guy. And I was standing there the whole time. And he's like, oh yeah, we had disqualified you from the tournament. And I'm like, dude, I've been standing here the whole time. He's like, yeah, but I thought you didn't want to enter the play anymore. And I looked at this dude, and I'm like, motherfucker, I've been beating all of you guys right now. What the fuck are you talking about? You thought I didn't want to play. And he's like, okay, don't get mad. Don't get mad. He's like, we're going to let you in. Let's redo this match that I disqualified you from. Are you fucking kidding me? You know what I mean? And so anyway, in the finals, it ended up being like me and Mike Watson, and we never even got to finish. Like I was actually going to play Ryu. I was just playing Guy for shits and giggles, like not like I'm practicing, right? Like because Ryu actually was a little bit different that I had played, you know, because Scott had brought it over and we played a little bit. And I was actually going to play Ryu once Guy lost, and so I think Mike Watson he beat my guy the first match or something like that, and then someone pulled the fire alarm, so we never even got to finish it, right? So it's so shitty, right? But then I remember. Um, Waking up the next day, whatever it was when I got home. And I remember all these fucking Buffalo Sabres. I don't want to fucking say this dude's name, dude. Like this dude, like there's some dudes that you don't really like, maybe. This was a dude. Whenever I would see this dude post on Shuriken, like I didn't have respect for this dude as a man. Does that make sense? Because whenever he said anything, it was so fucking like it looked like he was just like cocksucking someone that he thought was cool. Like he never seemed to have like an opinion of his own. It was just so fucking he really rubbed me the wrong way. He just seemed like such a bitch to me. Like I did not respect this guy as a man at all. Anyway, and then even further to this, after the tournament, it was me and he posted. He's like, yeah, well, we all hated the game, and we only had it because Final Showdown wanted it. Final Showdown. You only had the tournament because Final Showdown wanted it. All you fuckers hate me and try to make up shit about me. Yet you held the tournament because I wanted it? Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? We're gonna hold a tournament because one person wants it, dude. Right? Like, are you fucking? He's like, yeah, only Final Showdown's only with license, dude. I don't even fucking have the game. The funny thing is, I actually got the game afterwards because I thought it was kind of neat because it's so funny. They're even like, I even remember a few years ago on a stream they brought this tournament up, right? And they tried to claim that some surfer boy came and was using glitch combos with Guy and Reed Dizzy combos with Guy to get fourth, which was complete bullshit because it was me and Mike in the finals, right? So first of all, I didn't get fucking fourth, you fucking liar. And second of all, I was fucking raping you guys, and I didn't use any fucking glitch combo. They're talking about combos that don't even exist in the game. They're trying to say I was using them to like cheat first time. Like it's so funny because these combos didn't even exist in the game anymore. They got taken out. But I was using them to try to like cheat to beat these guys. Like fucking Christ, man. Do you know what I mean? But the fucking video game community. Couple more stories. One second. Okay, almost done. What are my last couple stories? I was gonna say the last big tournament I won. What is a shady story from the last big tournament I won? So the last big tournament I won was wait. There's actually I can tell a couple more stories. So the last big tournament I ever won was there was this tournament, and I hadn't really been entering many tournaments anymore because my hands were just so fucked up, and I don't wasn't really playing games anymore. Again, people can try to make up excuses like Clayton plays video games all day, practice. No, you know what I mean. If you want to look at my RPG stuff, if you want to see how much I play a lot of RPGs actually. And I think maybe around that time I was actually playing a lot of dating games, actually visual novels. But I couldn't even practice even when I wanted to because of my hands. But big tournament, right? At the time, two of the best people in America was Marn and Combo Fiend, and I was just me and me and some friends. We were just in the area because we were going to visit another friend that lived out there, and so I just, we were like, well, let's visit this tournament while we're there. And of course, it was a pretty big tournament. And I can tell you, it was pretty cool because I won the tournament and it was enough to pay for my plane ticket, there and back. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, I remember all before the tournament, people heard that I was actually going to show up because I hadn't really been going to many tournaments anymore. And they're like, oh yeah, Combo Fiend, we're all rooting for you, beat Final Showdown. He's such a fucking shit talker. He's not any good, blah, blah, blah. We know you got this. Combo Fiend didn't even fucking get to me, bro. Combo Fiend lost to my friend so badly he fucking threw his controller in rage. And I think he probably thought so. He probably didn't know that he probably thought my friend was just a random guy. But my friend actually, he has done well for himself in Tekken, right? And he plays Guilty Gear versus me randomly. So he isn't a nobody. He just doesn't go to a lot of tournaments, right? And my friend just beat him really bad. And if anyone was at that tournament, any of my friends that maybe watch this YouTube, if you remember the exact story, maybe he threw his controller twice, maybe he paused the controller before he was about to lose, They made my friend beat him again or something. I don't remember, but he got pissed and he threw his controller. It was bad, and I ended up winning that tournament. Like I said, I not even practiced. I was sick in between the matches in the toilet. And I won that tournament without losing a round, bro. And I think, yeah. And I remember a shady thing about that too. Oh, Steve H was there too, and who was considered a top player, right? And the funny thing about that is like people. Here's a shady thing that I'll get. Wow, man, I got so many fucking shady stories, dude. What is going on? This is gonna be longer than I thought. Um, so what happened is one thing that people used to do in tournaments is they did used to delay things a lot, right? And I actually have left tournaments before while I was guaranteed money because again, I was entering tournaments before I could even drive. So I was just like, I gotta go home. I'm not waiting for this. Like, what am I supposed to do, right? So I've actually had to leave tournaments where I was already in one of the finals. I was guaranteed at least money, but I just had to go home. So anyway, we're on a tight schedule, right? So we're supposed to do like I'm already guaranteed at least second, right? 'Cause I'm in the grand finals, right? And Steve H and my friend are supposed to play to whoever gets guaranteed second or third or whatever that is. And I was like, let me go get some food before I come. And they're like, okay, but you got to be back in a half hour, right? Because whatever, don't wait. First of all, it's fucking bullshit when we're on a roll to say like, hey, let me go get dinner or lunch. I'll be back in a half hour. It's like, dude, your match is right now. No. But anyway, who fucking cares? They're like, yeah, okay, let's go back. You know how long they fucking took? We almost missed our flight. I'm not saying they did this on purpose. Maybe they did, right? Because it has been known that I have left tournaments before because I have to go, right? And this has happened before to me. They came back like 2 or 3 hours later. It was fucking insane. And we're like, dude, do them, and they didn't even disqualify them. It's like, dude, we're talking to like Michael, Gym Master's like, dude, disqualify them. You're running the tournament. Like, dude, we got a fucking plane to catch. He's like, no, they're on the phone. They said they're coming right now. Anyway, thank God we won this tournament because that was fucking bullshit. My friend beat Steve, then I beat my friend. We're like, let's get out of here, and we literally had to go to get our flight, dude. Fucking bullshit, right? I remember another tournament that happened too. Again, this has happened before in other tournaments. Like, dude, I was like, dude, I remember one tournament I was telling people, man, I'm real sick. We got to finish this tournament, dude. I was taking like my migraine medicine to keep me throughout the day. I'm like, I'm so fucking sick. And they're like, okay, dude, well, we're going to come back, Clayton. Don't worry. And it's like, dude, no, let's just finish the tournament. Like, they're like, no, Clayton, we don't want you, like, maybe you're like, oh, we don't want to tell you you're on a roll, Clayton, right? You know what I mean? Like, let's wait back, you know what I mean? Like, and dude, like, come back hours later, dude, before the finals, dude. Like, I remember when I was like, it's like, Clayton, we're back, dude. And I'm like, I'm like, and you're like, dude, I remember this dude. He was so fucking happy he beat me. While I'm like slouching in the chair. He's like, yes, I finally fucking beat Clayton. He's like, yeah, yeah. And I'm like in the chair, dude. Like, and they're like, yeah, dude, you finally beat Clayton. You finally beat him because I'd beat this guy on another train. Like, I'm like, and he's like slouch away, dude. Like, why didn't you fucking play while I was like still fucking awake? But you know what? People run monopolies, dude. I remember so like I'm fucking guaranteed money. You're fucking like, dude, fucking video games, dude, right? You know what I mean? Again, stuff would never happen in tournaments nowadays, right? But so shady. God, I remember a final shady story. I remember this one guy. There's an inside joke. Let's call him Leona's dad, right? If you know who I'm talking about. Again, complete fucker. If this guy ends up dead somewhere, you know what I mean? I've heard he's a crack addict and heroin addict. So who knows? If maybe he'll end up in a street with a fucking dildo up his ass, right? I don't know, right? With a crack pipe, but I remember this dude, super fucking shady. People used to talk shit about him. There used to be this inside joke that he used to shit his pants so he had to wear diapers because he had just done so many drugs as a kid. Maybe it was true. I don't know. I laughed at the joke, but I didn't like get in and on it any more than that. But people used to make that joke about him to me. And I guess I wasn't above laughing about it because it sounded kind of funny. But he was nice to me, so I was nice to him. So I'm like, I'm not going to talk shit about him, but I laughed at the joke. Anyway, so this dude ended up having like, started becoming friends with people that hated me, and so he started talking shit about me. I remember this one tournament, God, I remember my friends were going out to party, hang out in Las Vegas, and he was like, man, Clay, come on, please enter this tournament, please enter this tournament. It's like, the Japanese are going to be there. I know you want to play the Japanese because you haven't gotten to play any casual, blah blah blah. So you know, enter this tournament, you know, you will know you'll get to the Japanese anyway, blah, 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 right? I'm like, ah. And I'm like, are you sure the Japanese are going to enter this side tournament, right? Because I'm about to go out with my friends. She's like, I'm sure, dude, enter the tournament, right? So I didn't want to play it, but whatever. So the tournament happens, right? And I win my first 3, 4 matches, whatever, right? And I've been looking around all the time, like, dude, the Japanese are not fucking here. They're not entering this side tournament, dude. And so, like, you know, I'm like there in my next match, and he's like there with this guy that's about to play. And I'm like, dude, you know, Leon's dad, let's call him. He said, what a fucker, dude. Like I said, tell me if this dude ends up in a street with a crack pipe up his ass. But I'm like, dude, where's all the Japanese? You told me they're here, and I stopped hanging out with my friends. We were going to party because you said you kind of like were like egging me on to enter this tournament. He's like, oh yeah, they were never here. They didn't want to enter. I just wanted you to enter the tournament. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I just dropped out of this party, going to hang out with my friends party in Las Vegas because of this bullshit. He's like, whatever, Clay, just enter the tournament. Just you're winning right now. Who cares, right? And so this guy's about to play me, and I'm like, I just play this guy, I'm like, and he beats me. So I'm just like, I don't even want to be here. And I'm like, and I'm just like, yeah. So I'm done. I'm not gonna enter anymore. I'm going out to hang out with my friends. And you know what that dude posts after all? He posted, Final Showdown is such a fucking baby. He can't handle when he loses, blah, blah, blah. He started making up all this bullshit about me. He started like, you know, they were editing and deleting my posts on the forum, trying to make all this bullshit up about me. And I was like, dude, what a fucker, dude. And I was like, anyway, let's end on that story, right? The video game community. Like I said, I ended up winning that last pretty big tournament, and then I don't really think I count these. You know, I've entered a few random like local tournaments, if you even count those, right? You know, so many years after that, very randomly, and I won those. But you know, there's that one last big tournament, and you know, I told this like this is not fun. Like the community fucking sucks, and so you know, I won those last few tournaments, and I'm like, I'm done. Fuck the community, dude. Fuck video games. The end.